this video, I'm just going to run through 10 tips that may be helpful for anyone going through a flight attendant training program or who will at some point in their career. Tip number 1, allow yourself to have fun and enjoy the journey. I say that because I personally did not find that work-life balance because I kind of came in with the mindset that I'm here for just work and that's all I'm going to do. But I realized fairly early on that mindset did not serve me well. So I say that this tip is probably the most important because in life you have to find a balance, that work-life balance. You are more than welcome, of course, in life to have a little fun and enjoy life because all work and no play is not a sustainable lifestyle. But on the flip side, all play and no work is not realistic. So finding that balance, I think, is very, very important because with work, sometimes you need a little bit of time to decompress, to take a step back. And in this program, it's definitely going to serve you to have a very dedicated mindset to working hard and all those things. But it's definitely going to serve you as well to enjoy the days off that we have. So they give us one day off a week, so you definitely want to take advantage of it. Go see the sights of Houston or wherever your training happens to be. Go out with friends, have a drink or two. Of course, be responsible, but make sure to enjoy the journey along the way. Tip number 2, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. This is not high school. If someone has something to say about the question that you asked, that's fine, but that's not to say that someone else doesn't also have that question. And I am a huge believer in the idea that the only stupid question is the one that's not asked. So ask all the questions that you have. If you have 100 questions, ask 100 questions because the goal is to make sure that you understand the information. Who cares what anyone has to say about you and the question that you asked? So ask it, don't be afraid. Tip number 3, don't focus on what could go wrong. With anything else in life, there's always a risk of things taking a turn for the worse. When you get in your car and you drive, you're assuming the people around you can drive, so that's a risk and it could go wrong. But you definitely don't focus on a car accident as you're driving, to the gas station for gas, right? No one thinks that way. So with this program, don't focus on things that could go wrong. Like the evacs was a very trying time for me. I actually had to redo mine. And I focused so hard on what if I have to redo this? What if they send me home? And that is in turn what eventually happened is I had to redo mine. But I didn't stay in that negative mindset. I said, okay, this is a second chance. I'm going to take this second chance. I'm going to run with it. I'm going to utilize it. So don't focus on what could go wrong, especially when there is so much that can go right. Tip number 4. Take setbacks in stride and remain open-minded. Like I said earlier, I had to redo my evac, and I spent a good majority of the portion that we had to kind of get ourselves together worrying about what happened if I messed up a second time. And instead of allowing that opportunity to truly be a learning experience, I was upset and I was angry and I was bitter because I felt I had spent a lot of time practicing every position that I could have been just for me to be the same position twice. My luck. But I had to tell myself that this is an opportunity for growth. I'm going to learn from this experience and I'm going to go in and make sure I do everything correctly. And at the end of it, the guy said I did perfectly, that he had nothing bad to say about my performance after, the second time around. So I really learned to take setbacks in stride because they will happen because no one's perfect and, people are people. We make mistakes. But remain open-minded because that's only a time where you can grow. Nothing bad comes from making a mistake. Okay. Tip number 5. Study and practice. That one it's common sense. I won't expand on it too much. Just any free time that you get, just make sure you study, make sure you practice, make sure that you know everything that you need to know. Tip number 6, be friends with your roommate. This one, though, I will admit was easy for me because my roommate was awesome. She was really smart. We never had any issues. Of course, this may be harder for someone that may have a roommate that you're not really vibing with too well. You guys are seeing eye on some things. But when I say be friends with your roommate, I mean just make sure you have each other's backs. Because if there's no one else that you can talk to, you should be able to talk to your roommate. There were plenty of times where I would ask her to clarify some things for me that just did not make sense, and she would clarify them for me. So you always have that person that kind of like a checks and balance. You know, this person can help you practice. They can maybe tell you where you need to improve. Like, just utilize your roommate because you guys can be useful to each other. So take advantage of that. Okay. Tip number 7, buy groceries. You're going to be there for a while, and 7 weeks of Uber Eats and DoorDash is going to catch up with you very, very quickly. So get yourself some groceries. We had split an air fryer. Just buy food because it's better to spend, some money up front for groceries than it is to be spending $50, $60 a pop on DoorDash, and that's just for one meal. So take advantage of, the time that you have at the very beginning to get groceries. Tip number 8, rest. That one, of course, is, self-explanatory. Make sure to get rest because you may very well know your material, but when you're tired, like, your brain is just not operating at max capacity like it could be. So find time to get some rest. Of course, even on your days off, if you're going to want to go out and have some fun, just make sure that you find time to get sleep. I'm not saying get a full 8 hours of sleep because that may not just be doable, but make sure to allow your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit to rest. Tip number 9, cope with stress in healthy ways. Obviously, we're all of drinking age, and alcohol is not difficult to obtain, especially because of COVID, and now you can deliver it. Just find healthy ways to cope with stress, whether that's reading a book, whether that is reading like a self-help book, I guess, either like a book of your choice, a self-help book, listen to a podcast, go to the gym, maybe take a walk outside, get some fresh air to kind of rejuvenate yourself. Either way, just find a healthy way, because this program definitely will stress you out, because not only the nature of this program, it's something very important. It's not easy to get, so you want to make sure you keep it. There's always that stress, but then there's the stress of making sure you're learning everything that you need to learn. So find a healthy way and exploit that. And then the last tip that I have for you, tip number 10, focus on the bigger picture, okay, which is the future. So don't focus so much on just the intricacies of, your day in and day out routine. Don't lose sight of what this is all about. The future is to have a career in aviation. It's to have a career as a flight attendant with, one of the larger airlines. Don't lose sight of that, because at the end of the day, this program is just a drop in the bucket that will be your future career. It's only uphill from here. Will it be a struggle getting started? Yes. But like I've said before, and I kind of live and die by this, anything that is worth having is never easy to get. This was not easy to get, but I see this career as something so very much worth having. So those are just my tips that I can offer you guys. Of course, if you have any questions, I will put my Instagram down in the description box. Feel free to message me with any questions or concerns that you guys may have, and I am more than happy to address those with you. Once again, this has been Ladies with Lexi. You guys have a wonderful day and stay safe.